Reddit users, what are some not safe for work secrets about the military? Our Air Force's most critical asset, nuclear weapons, are primarily guarded by a bunch of really bored teenagers. Sometimes the guy that administers the drug test is the same one that you get the drugs from. The food boxes that come in literally say for prison and military use only. My husband was watching a documentary with people in prison and was like, hey, we have the same blankets on the ship. If you join the military, you will be affected by suicide. We had 3 during training, 1 on the boat, and 1 I had to tackle in my office because he was slashing his wrists. Then you get out and it keeps happening. I've lost 8 shipmates in the last 7 years after I got out. It's nuts. Swingers exist on every single base in the world. In Sigonella, they would use different boxes of detergent in the windows to show what they were into and what age range they were looking for. Patrolling the housing area became much more interesting when you see who lives in the houses and what they're into. I was selected 6 times in a row to be your analysis checker. Have seen over 2,000 dicks involuntarily. Swiss ex-tanker here. It cost us 2,500 Swiss francs to fire a tank shell if I remember correctly. Once. We'd fire about a dozen a day, per tank, in squads of 4. That's upwards of 100 kpr day for a training exercise. For all that fun, we'd eat rice or pasta 3x a week because we can't afford better quality food. We had Marines on my ship. They told us this crazy prank they pulled where they all got naked and joined one of them on the shower and soaked them up. And all I could think was, this is the very most gay thing I have ever heard. When I checked into Fort Bragg in 2011, the very first thing I was told in the in-processing brief was welcome to Fort Bragg. We have the most male-on-male rapes and sexual assaults in the nation. The very first thing they told me. You have to show your asshole to one of the oldest doctors on the planet before they let you join. I think it is a commitment thing. You don't go poo for a long time after you start basic training. Weeks. It becomes a subject of conversation with your dorm mates. Did you go twice? Becomes a common question. I wasn't in the military, but when I started college, the Reserve Officers Training Corps had a 1-week camp to try it out as a recruiting tool before the semester started. It was fun, camping in the woods, firearms, navigation, etc. It was also a week of eating nothing but meals ready to eat. Didn't take a dump the entire week and didn't even notice, to be honest. Once it was over, we were able to move into the dorms 2 days early before the other students. We got back to campus and figured out a few of the guys that attended were also in the same dorm as me. We got our paperwork and dorm keys. One guy said, man, some McDonald's and a Big Coke would be good right now. We all agreed and piled in the car to hit Mickey D's. A double quarter-pounder, fries and 2 Big Cokes later, we were full, satisfied and heading back to the dorms to unpack. After 30 minutes or so of unpacking, I felt a rumble, a few gurgles, then a lot of downward pressure. A lot. I took off running to the shared bathroom, and sure enough, here comes one of my camping buddies around the corner with the same panicked look on his face. We occupy 2 of the 4 stalls, and the assault began. Not more than a few minutes later, the other 2 showed up in the same state. I have never before, or since then, shit like that. 15 irritable bowel syndrome of weight loss would not be an exaggeration. I was so empty, feeling it hurt once it was over. How the plumbing survived that X4 I will never know. That was my first and last experience with meals ready to eat. If you are missing a kit, it is understood that you will beg, borrow or steal a replacement from another soldier before you fess up. There's only one thief in the military. Everyone else is trying to get their shit back. Honor is great. Being honorable is optional. The amount of people who get sick and tired of being in the service who will go out and do some drug or another to get kicked out. During our Iraq or Afghanistan years, you wouldn't believe how many people would purposely piss hot or females would intentionally get pregnant to get out of going. A friend of mine in the Special Forces told me since they are out in the field a lot, they get plenty of ticks. And while you can inspect yourself fairly well, you can't inspect everything, so they pair up and spread their cheeks, and your mate has to stare into your anus to check you for ticks in there. Not very glamorous. It's literally just high school with guns. Our computers don't look or function anything like they do in the movies. It takes me 15 minutes to a half hour to log into my computer, and when I do, good luck opening Outlook or anything else. This is well known amongst all service members. The worst computers I've ever used in any job. The reason this is not suitable for work is because the military needs to have functioning computers, and not having that can make our work literally not safe. Suicides are at times covered up. My brother shot himself a week after coming home from Afghanistan, and officially it was an accidental discharge of a service weapon. Which I guess was nice, as my family still got his military compensation. He was one of the first and of many suicides from that war. I believe they have far outpaced combat losses now. I had a chick friends with benefits at school who grew up everywhere and nowhere. 20 minutes after first meeting her, she was hanging with my new roommate and I in our room, says these clothes are uncomfortable, and before I could even turn my head she was naked on my bed. She had later confided in me that she started f***ing soldiers on base at 13, and a lot of times it was consensual. And she said she was definitely not the only child being assaulted or raped. I stopped messing around with her for a long time after that, and was just a good friend for her to lean on until SR year, when she was still very much in therapy and we tried dating slowly. It didn't work out, but I always wish her the best. It always makes me laugh when people romanticize the military and troops as honorable, professional, and brave. I joined as soon as I was 18, and being around such shitters damaged my perception of society in general. I met a handful of decent people in 10 years, though. I thought it's probably the same ratio of dickheads to normals in the civilian street, but no, that's not true. I've met way more serious criminals in the military than I have as a civilian. But the worst thing about it all is that if it can be covered up, it will be. Officers get the best treatment in this regard, but make no mistake, if the behavior or crime becomes too public and it threatens the PR of the services, the only way you're covered is if you're a royal or close friend of one. Gay chicken. Not sure how prevalent it is now, but 20 years ago it was pretty common to see two guys kissing just to see who would blink first and pull back. Never advanced to full-on gay sex as far as I know, but I witnessed more than one cock getting pulled out before the other person backed down. They handed out heroin to those in Vietnam. My grandpa served and became an addict while there. The Navy switched to liquid soap because it takes longer to pick up. The girls can get about as wild as the men, especially in certain career fields. We had a group of Air Force maintainers come into my strip club. 2 girls, 3 guys. The guys were really nice, respectful, and tipped well. The girls bought a VIP room. And it got wild. I'd stripped for girls before, it's more common than you would think. But those girls, I'm pretty sure they spent over $10,000 and were treated like queens. My buddy got post-traumatic stress disorder from dealing with the people who got PTSD from being raped in the Navy. It was that bad. The amount of unreported injuries to doc or to command, thus leading to lifelong issues. On the other hand, if you do go to doc about an issue, you'll be berated and told you are lying about an issue to get out of duty or physical therapy. Was ignored and told I was lying about back or sciatic issues for months by document, jumped chain of command, went to my captain, had an MRI or x-rays of my lower back, and a month later had a microdiscectomy of my L5. Damage was done, medically ineligible to re-enlist, 7 years later, and have to get a spinal fusion due to severe disc degeneration and chronic sciatic pain and permanent nerve damage. Friends, thank you for watching. Please share your stories below in the comments and see you on the next videos. Have a good day.